Hello and welcome to another match reaction on Football Talk podcast. My name is Ozzie and I'm your host for today's show. Another midday kickoff victory for Liverpool, but I have to be honest, it wasn't a walk in the park. A lot of talking points, and unfortunately, it's to do with the refereeing more than the players, which is annoying as hell, but it needs to be addressed. So during the show, I'll discuss the key moments of the game and then present my player ratings. It's also a calling show, so if you'd like to come on and have your say, the link is pinned in the chat and also visible in the description. So let's quickly discuss the lineups for both teams. Not the personnel I expected from Palace. You had Will Hughes starting in midfield as a number 10, I would say. Looked like they were playing a 4-2-3-1 at times. And you had Olise drop to the bench. And in terms of their attack, it was Schlupp, Edouard, and Ayew who led the line. In terms of Liverpool, a couple nice surprises to the lineup. Alisson returns in goal, and Kwanzaa makes his second start in the Premier League. So let's talk about the first half. A very quiet opening 25 minutes. Liverpool had most of the possession as Palace applied the low block and kept it tight in defence. The first bit of action came from the Eagles around the 26th minute as Schlupp hits a shot from close range. Great save by Alisson as the ball hits the post, and it could easily have gone past the goal line, but Trent makes the clearance to keep the ball out of danger. 28th minute, big moment in the game as Van Dijk fouls Edouard in the penalty box. But before that happened, Will Hughes brought down Endo with a tackle. VAR took their time to review the challenge, but rightfully overturned the penalty and continued play as it was a clear foul on Endo. At that stage, I'm thinking Liverpool getting quite sloppy possession. They need to get a grip of the game and take control. 44th minute, Liverpool produced a decent move, starting with Diaz, who hits a nice pass from the left-hand side to Gravenberch. Gravenberch had a great touch, had the whole view of the goal in front of him, but decided to lay it off to Nunez. And unfortunately, that block from the defense kills the move. Gravenberch should have hit it first time, in my opinion, as the opening was there. And in the 46th minute, Liverpool go on another attack. This time, Szoboszlai has his left-footed shot deflected for a corner, but with no outcome. Boring first half, if I'm being honest, almost put me to sleep. So I'm just thinking at that time, things need to liven up in the second half. But it's not what I expected, and no surprise. VAR at the forefront again. A challenge happens where Kwanzaa takes out Mateta, who just came off from the bench in the box. Play was waved on, but for some reason, VAR was still reviewing the incident. After several minutes, the referee stops play all of a sudden and awards a penalty to Palace. Now, regardless if it's a penalty or not, why did it take VAR so long to get to that conclusion? If there is a foul at the time, pause the game if necessary, review it, and then present the decision. Don't allow play to go on and then 5 minutes later you bring it back to say that, oh, it was a penalty. It makes no sense. And this is why I believe VAR is ruining the game. Now, I don't want to revert to previous decisions or incidents, but again, let me address something. The game against Spurs, when Diaz's goal was ruled out, or it wasn't given, I should say, we all heard the audio afterwards where VAR were saying that they weren't able to bring that decision back or review it as play continued. So what is the rule? Because it seems like it's a different rule book for Liverpool. In this occasion, the play was brought back. So for me, it's frustrating. I'm not just saying there's an agenda against Liverpool, but it's ruining the game altogether. There's so many countless amounts of decisions that are going against teams. People getting booked for no reason. VAR overshadowing the referee's judgment, and the referee doesn't have the bottle to actually make the right call. It's just all over the place when it comes to officiating in the Premier League. Having said that, we'll move on. 56th minute, half-time sub. Mateta steps up and hits the back of the net. So at that time, Klopp's made a couple of more changes. I forgot to mention Gomez came on at half-time for Endo. So around the 56th minute, Gravenberch is off for Gakpo and Kwanzaa is taken off for Konate. So 70th minute, Trent whips in a great cross from a free kick, tries to find Nunez, but he just wasn't able to make any sufficient contact to hit the target. And then this was the turning point of the game. 75th minute, red card. Ayew fouls Elliott from behind for his second yellow, and unfortunately he's sent off now. A lot of different reaction from different fans. It was a soft tackle, don't get me wrong, but end of the day, it's a foul. It's clear as day. And when you're on a yellow card as well, you know what's going to happen next. But having said that, yeah, it is a soft one. Don't get me wrong, but this is what our referees are capable of doing now. It's just ruining the games, which is a frustrating moment for us as spectators. But it comes at no surprise, unfortunately. 87th minute, Elliott has a chance, but hits a shot high and wide. Great one by Gomez on the right hand side. And in the 90th minute, it was another moment for Elliott, and this time he got his goal. And what a goal it was! Nice burst of speed, dribbles with the ball, angles himself and hits the ball with great power. Lovely finish from the midfielder there. 93rd minute, Diaz thought he made it 3-1 for Liverpool as he hits the back of the net, but it was ruled out for offside. I thought it was very close, to be honest, but we weren't given the opportunity to view the replay with lines on the pitch. You know, that is what it is with regards to that. But 99th minute, as it was extra 10 minutes of stoppage time, Anderson for Crystal Palace has a fantastic header from a free kick and unbelievable save by Alisson to parry it away. Fantastic response from Liverpool overall. Again, we didn't play well, but the mentality, from what I'm seeing, is great from the Liverpool team. The win was deserved in my eyes. Unlucky to Palace, who showed some great fight during the game. But as I've alluded to quite a few times now, the referees are just simply ruining the game, killing the entertainment aspect of the football now. And speaking of the referee, he had an absolute shocker. To Ozzie, he was just giving out yellow cards left, right, and centre, and it just became embarrassing in the end. But I'm not going to let that overshadow the victory. We're now top of the table, so we move. Let's do the player ratings. As I mentioned earlier, it's a calling shot. So if you'd like to come on and have your say, hit the link and I'll get you on very, very soon. So let me share graphics with you guys and then we can discuss the player rating. So let's start with Alisson. Yes, Alisson for me was fantastic. Firstly, surprised that he even started the game. I don't think it was confirmed that he was available for this game. So when I saw him in the lineup, definitely brought a smile to my face. In terms of his performance, he made a big save in the first half, which could have changed the whole outcome of the game into the second half. But then he made a fantastic save in the last minute as well, where it could have killed the whole game for us. We would have had to drop 2 points. So yeah, for me, he was pretty much the savior in the end. Didn't do anything wrong in terms of goalkeeping wise. For me, he had a solid game and good to see him back in action. So I'm actually going to give him a high ranking due to that last moment because that definitely gave us the 3 points today. So I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. In terms of Tsimikas, he had a decent game. I wouldn't pinpoint say he did anything bad or terrible in that manner. He had a solid game, I would say. Defensively, did his job as well. Attacking wise, I think he could have done a bit better in terms of his passing. But I didn't really see any trouble coming from that right-hand side. Yeah, it wasn't a game where I felt like he was getting outpaced by the winger or the fullback was overlapping. Well, to be fair, they've got Ward who doesn't really overlap. He's more of a defensive-minded fullback. So yeah, I wasn't really concerned. Ayew was playing on that right-hand side, but he didn't really trouble Tsimikas, in my opinion. So with that said, I'll give him a decent ranking and I'll give him a 7 out of 10. Now, Virgil van Dijk, for me, had another solid game. Very, very impressed with his performance. The penalty was that he gave away that obviously was overturned. Thought it was a bit harsh, but yeah, luckily for us, we got that decision on our side. But generally, he was very good. showed his acceleration at some points, especially on the channels where he had to cover Kwanzaa or Konate in the second half. Made some good tackles, had some neat touches. I remember there was a touch where kind of did like a bit of a Cruyff turn just to avoid any contact from the player and cleaned it up and made sure we had the possession afterwards. So, no, a solid performance from our captain again. So I'm giving him an 8 out of 10. Kwanzaa, for me, actually did a decent job. He wasn't below par. I feel like he did a good job. Obviously, unfortunate to give that penalty away. So yeah, unlucky on that one. But I think he had a solid game. I wouldn't say he was a weak point in our defensive line. So no, a solid performance from him. So I'll give him a 7 out of 10. Trent Alexander-Arnold had a good game as well. Wasn't as influential as probably the last couple of games. So started obviously the first half as right back. Second half brought in Gomez. So played centrally, but had a decent sort of variation in his passing, but I don't feel like it was as influential as I would say the last couple of games where, you know, he was really making things happen all over the pitch. So again, another solid performance from Trent. So I wouldn't rank him higher than a 7 out of 10. In terms of Endo, I actually thought Endo was quite good in the first half. He had a tricky afternoon, to be fair, due to the fact that I think Will Hughes' selection in the team was to make sure he presses on Endo and makes it uncomfortable for him. And he did that on occasions, to be fair. But I feel like Endo handled himself quite well, did some good passes here and there. Obviously got substituted at halftime. I don't think that was a reflection of his performance as such. I think it was more of a tactical change more than anything else. So for me, had another decent game. So I'll go give him a 7 out of 10 as well. Gravenberch was a bit disappointing for me, to be honest. A lot of occasions on the game, he gave the ball away. His passing wasn't great. Even that moment where Diaz passed it to him on the left-hand side, and then he had the whole goal to shoot at and decided to pass it to Nunez, who was marked by two players. So decision making wasn't the best. Passing in terms of his percentage, I don't know what it is exactly, but I'm sure it wasn't very high. Had a couple of moments where he was on a run with his dribbling, didn't really come out to any effect. So yeah, unfortunately, I think it was a below par performance from Gravenberch. So I'm going to give him 6 out of 10. So Boslai had a quiet afternoon as well, to be fair. Showed one or two glimpses where he had a couple of shots on towards goal, but wasn't as influential in the game. But that might have been due to the fact that I think his role was quite different today, where he was more or less there to cover Trent on that right-hand side. So he was doing the legwork for him. So these are kind of like the cons of having Trent as a inside or inverted fullback. Whoever is playing on your right side of your midfield or centre mid, I should say, ends up being the player that covers. And so Boslai is very influential in terms of how we set up. So having him to do that work is probably not the right thing. So if this ends up being a long-term plan or setup going forward, so Boslai might have to switch over to the left-hand side of midfield, just because I feel like I'd rather a more sort of, I'll say, a robust or a competitive midfielder play on that right-hand side to do the legwork and then allow Boslai on the other side to be influential in the game, because I feel like it took away some of his attacking instincts doing that role today. But in terms of his performance, I think he did okay. So I'll give him a 6.5. Attackers, yeah, I know Mo Salah got the goal, which was a great moment for him, obviously, as he's reached his 200 landmark milestone, I guess, which is a great achievement for him, for the Egyptian king. But in terms of his overall game, I thought it was quite quiet, to be honest with you. Obviously, when you look at stats after the game, it shows that he had a goal and then he had an assist for Elliott's goal as well. So you feel like he was part of the game, but I think he was quiet, fizzled in and out that throughout the game. Got better, I think, towards the second half, but not his old sort of, or his normal self, I would say. So I thought he had an average game today, but because he got the goal and an assist, I'll boost his ranking a little bit higher. So I'm giving him a 7.5. Nunes for me was very quiet, ineffective today. Didn't really have any shots on goal from what I can remember, which is quite unfortunate. And I thought like this was the perfectly suited game for him where he could have an impact. Didn't really trouble the two centre backs in Gay and Anderson, who, to be fair, are a solid partnership. So it was always going to be a tricky afternoon for him, but I don't feel like he troubled them at all that much. So I have to give him a low ranking today. It's going to be a 6 out of 10. Diaz as well, kind of similar to Salah, where he was very quiet throughout the game, had moments here and there, but not as impactful as I would like him to be. Obviously, he scored that goal at the end that was ruled out for offside. So he still has his finishing touch there, but in terms of overall, I just feel like he didn't take on their right back, which was Ward, as much as he should, because I feel like in terms of pace, Ward is not matching Diaz whatsoever. So I feel like we should have used him better in the game. But overall, had a decent performance. So I'll give him a 6.5 as well. So let me know what you think, guys, in terms of my ranking so far. Is it quite low in terms of what you expect? Despite us getting the win today, I'm just going based on what I saw. I don't feel like anyone stood out today. Hey, why is Salah 8? Let me change that. That is the wrong ranking there. Salah 7.5, not 8. He was not that good today. So, so let's bring on the subs and then we can discuss how they performed today as well. So we had Gomez coming on for Endo. So we can put him on there. Sorry. Gomez coming on for Endo. And then we had Gakpo coming on for Gravenberch. I'll adjust the players once everyone is on. And then we also had Konate coming on for Kwanzaa. Oops. Konate. And then Elliott for Nunez. And then Jones for Szoboszlai. So let's switch them around in terms of where they were playing. So play Gakpo there. Jones there, Elliott there. And then Trent was playing DM. And then you've got Gomez, on the right-hand side as well. Let's start with Gakpo. So Gakpo definitely felt like he brought energy to that midfield, which was such a big difference to what we saw from Gravenberch and Szoboszlai in the first half. More effective on the ball, showed more urgency in his play, which is what you want from a midfielder. So I feel like he actually had a decent game coming on. So I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Jones, for me, was quiet. He didn't really make much of an impact coming on. The only contribution he had, which obviously was a good one, is that he laid off the pass for Salah to score the equalizing goal. So that's the only sort of memory that I have, but I feel like he actually did a decent job. So I'm going to give him a 6.5. And then Elliott came on. Yeah. In terms of his cameos this season, he's been very impressive. One thing I need to also point out, I think Klopp made all of these substitutions at the right time, and that's something he's really, I think, excelled in. Where last year, you'd question his substitutions and the timing of it as well. This year, he seems to be getting everything spot on. So the introduction of Elliott at the time was needed. We needed a bit more energy around the attacking box, and that's exactly what he brought to the pitch, where the turn was such a nice turn for the Crystal Palace player, cut in and angled it, smashed it. What a goal it was. So yeah, lovely finish from Harvey Elliott. So I'm going to give him a 7.5. 7.5. 7.5 out of 10. And then you've got Konate as well. Konate was okay. I don't think he was great, to be honest with you, when he came on. I remember he had 2 challenges against Mateta. Any one of them could easily have been a yellow, a piece, and then he might have even got sent off. So I don't think there were yellow cards, but the way referees are officiating the game right now, anything can be a yellow card. That's how ridiculous it is. So back in the day, if you got a yellow card, it's because you really, left it on the player. Now you get a yellow card for giving a certain look to the referee or saying a swear word on the pitch. It's that shameful right now. So no, I don't think he had a great sort of impact on the game, but he was solid nonetheless. So I'm going to give Konate a 6 out of 10. And Gomez was definitely a game changer when he came on. I feel like he definitely made an impression, kept it solid on the right-hand side, but attacking-wise, really attacked that right flank and tried to make things happen as well. So now there's going to be that big question, should Gomez be given the role as full-time right back and then allow Trent to play in midfield? I don't think it's the full-time answer, to be fair. It is an option, but, it remains to be seen. It's for Joe Gomez to kind of change the manager's approach or thinking to say, look, I can do that job right back from a defensive point of view and from an attacking point of view. So it's key. I think with Gomez as well, just have to use him sparingly, because if he gets injured, touch wood, he doesn't, then that becomes an issue going forward as well. So that's more of a long-term thinking. We can obviously talk about that whenever we do transfer shows. But in terms of today's performance, I thought he was fantastic. So today I'm going to give him, I think I'll give him an 8.5. Today I thought he was really good. So in terms of man of the match, I think Alisson just beats Gomez by a split decision there, due to the fact that I think it was a pivotal time. Last minute, I think it was the 99th minute as well, where he made that save. So had that gone in, all that hard work and determination would have gone out the window. So for me, Alisson definitely played for the cause. I'm not trying to throw shade here. If that was Kelleher, I think we'll probably have lost today. So great to see Alisson back, and you can just see the different levels of goalkeeping whenever he's on the pitch. So he's my man of the match today. So let me know what you guys think in the comments in terms of my ranking. Love to hear from you guys as well. Just got a comment here from Ravi. It says, big up, was a 4 for the team performance and manager, 6 for Elliot and Mo. I know we can't play champagne football every week. We've got to stop slow build up and be switched on. And he said yes, and Alisson 8. So you've given Alisson 8. So yeah, I've given Alisson a 9. So no, that's fair enough. I think in terms of how we play, we can't expect to play champagne football. To be fair, you can't even expect teams like City to play champagne football week in, week out. So December is that month where it's all about grinding out the results and just making sure you're increasing your tally in the league table, because this is a crunch time right now. Kind of makes or breaks your season as well. So if you're doing really well after the December Christmas period, then it kind of sets the momentum going forward. So no, is it a concern to how we're performing right now? Slightly. I think the concern for me is probably not defensively, it's more from the attacking sense, because we haven't been very clinical in front of goal in the last 2-3 games. I know Salah scored today, but before that, the front three haven't contributed that much. So it's very important that they get that goal scoring touch again. I know we don't have Jota as well. Hopefully Jota returns in the near future. I do know he was doing some light training the other day, but he's a miss, because in terms of his game, he's just a gunman. He's just there to score the goals. So sometimes we lack that cutting edge when Jota's not within the squad. So I feel like it makes a big difference. But yeah, as long as we're getting the points, as long as we're performing in a decent manner, that's all that counts for me in this month. And then going forward, then when you're playing the bigger teams, then you got to step up to the plate. But yeah, in general, I would say very, very impressive performance from Liverpool in terms of that determination and making sure we get the win. So yeah, so that's a wrap up for today, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. In terms of upcoming content, we'll be doing a match week 16 review that'll be taking place. I think it'll be on Monday. We don't have any Monday kickoff matches, but I'll announce that in due time. So best thing to do is hit that notification bell, and then you can also follow me on social. So you can follow me at OzzieFTP on Twitter /X, or you can follow me at Ozzie.ftp on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. Just got a final comment here before we end the show. So Ravi says, I don't want to see this makeshift rubbish, inverted trash, and we have to drive the ball more, pick out Nunez and Co up front, make them get into spaces. The inverted thing, I think is literally you love it or you hate it. It's a mixed reaction from fans. Yeah, it's one of those ones where I feel like, for me personally, I feel like it works in certain games, but I don't want it to be where we become too predictable and teams expect us to do that week in, week out, because that's when you'll get exploited, especially on our right hand side as well. Teams will exploit us if they know that isn't how we're going to set up. So they'll start doubling up on us on that side of the pitch. So yeah, but I'll be honest with you, I think in terms of how we're performing, we're doing well in my opinion. Obviously, performances can get better, but I just think because we're playing so many games right now, we played 2 games in the space of 2-3 days. It is going to happen in terms of not having that sort of zip in our play or that energy in our play. So squad rotation is very, very key in terms of our campaign. It's good to see players like Endo getting a chance as well, because I feel like he's made a difference. And you've got the likes of Szoboszlai, who I feel like might need a bit of a breather as well. So yeah, I think squad rotation will definitely play a key in our campaign going forward. Obviously, Matip's injury is not helpful. He's pretty much out for the whole season now. So big question is, do we recruit in January? Remains to be seen. I'm not sure if that will happen. And then Ravi's just said exactly look at today. Yeah, it was an area. I think that's probably why Gomez's impact was so good. And it presents that question. Should we just put Trent full-time in midfield as a 6 or as an 8, however you label it? Or should we continue what we're doing? I think we need to just switch it up here and there in terms of become less predictable. Some games we will need Trent to be a full-on right back where he needs to stop attack. Some games where, especially against low block teams, we do need him to come in field and then try and have an influence on the game. But, we'll take it one game at a time. I don't want it to be where we become predictable in how we play. But as long as we're getting the points, that is key right now, in my opinion. And then we've just got a comment from Mihaly, who said Klopp used too much of Ozzie. He needs to be rested. Yeah, I agree with that. He just looks like he's worn out right now. He needs a bit of a breather. So I agree. I think Szoboszlai does need a bit of a rest. But unfortunately, I think he's being played more so than what Klopp would probably want right now, due to the fact that we've got Jones, who just hasn't really picked up form in recent weeks. Gravenberch has been hot and cold. The only person I would say, Elliott, whenever he comes on, does make an impact. So maybe in the next game, is he in contention? We're playing United next. So I don't know if he'll play Elliott at the beginning. I'd probably still go to Szoboszlai, to be fair. But after that, we can kind of review our fixtures and then allow Elliott to get more game time in that midfield, because he made such a great impact today. So, so yeah, let's see how it goes in terms of Szoboszlai's input for the team. And then Ravi says, say, big up the Liverpool game, big up yourself, Ravi. And then switch the things up, don't be predictable. Exactly what I said. That's what we need to be. We can't be predictable. That's what happened in the latter stages of last season, where we're playing good football, we're getting the points. But I remember that Tottenham game last season where they knew exactly how we were going to set up and they exploited us. So, yeah, against the bigger teams, we have to be a bit more calculated, a bit more smart in terms of how we approach the game. But yeah, let's see how the season goes. But so far, good win for this match week, I would say. And then Jordan says, "Can he join?" Yeah, if you hit the links now, I can get you on. Otherwise, we can chop it up another time. Big game next week. We've got Manchester United, so definitely we'll be doing a match preview and then match reaction as well. We can certainly do. So I'll give Jordan a minute if he wants to join. Come on. Otherwise, we'll have to do it another time. In terms of upcoming content, so we've got the match week 8-16 review coming up. I'll probably do another episode of FC24. If you haven't watched it, I've been doing a career mode for Liverpool, obviously. So that's one to watch. And then we've got match preview of Liverpool versus Manchester United. So hopefully I'll have a special guest on for that. And then we'll do a match reaction next week as well. So I can see Jordan's in the backstage, so I'll bring him on. Jordan, how you doing, sir? How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm happy. Big up
Yeah,
to
happy.
Egyptian King Salah. 200 goal. Wonderful. What a weekend for me.
Yeah.
Mm.
What do you think of the game in general?
Well, it's very first half was very poor from for us. We should have scored in the first half. I don't know where Darwin was, but he
Yeah.
could be hiding. But we got the win, and we put on RB Elliott, and he sealed the win, and I'm happy. And Darwin needs to show up on Sunday when face Manchester United.
No, that's definitely we need that chaos coming from Darwin next week. Who would you start next week? Would it be Gakpo or Darwin Nunes for the United game?
I think Cody needs to start. Communist
Mhm.
Darwin not he didn't step up today, and
Yeah.
don't know what's wrong, but I think Cody should start ahead of Darwin.
No, I have to agree. I think Gakpo has showed some good performances, especially in the last couple of weeks. But I just feel like when he starts game, he doesn't have that same impact. So I feel like he needs to do that more so in upcoming games. So today we got the win, which is good for us. We're currently top of the league. How are you
Mhm.
feeling going into this hectic period where a lot of games are coming thick and fast? Do you
Well,
feel like we are title challengers or are we taking it one game at a time?
yeah, we're just taking one game at a time because right now Villa will be taking on Arsenal very soon.
Yeah,
So they
yeah,
might go back to the top, and we could go back to second place. So it's a battle between us and Arsenal for this title.
yeah.
But I'm not really hyping about the title race yet. But just looking at each game and see what we have to do at everyone that comes
No,
against
that's
us.
fair enough. Just got a comment here from Ravi. Ravi says United have been poor today, but can never rule them out in the fixture. Well, that's the thing. Whenever it's Liverpool and United, I kind of think form goes out of the window where the rivalry is so intense, anything can happen on the day. So I'm hoping of something more of that 7-0 that we had last week. How are you feeling going into that game? Are you going with
Yeah,
confidence?
yes, I'm confident. The rest of Man United players, they're not my problem. But for Andre Onana, coming from an Italian team like Inter Milan, it is
Yeah,
first against us. So we probably put some goals past him because
yeah,
he's not great. He's not a Premier League goalkeeper. So coming from an Italian team as
yeah,
Inter, I think he's no way he's going to have a chance of stopping us.
yeah. I think we need to make sure we're hitting some long shots, especially coming from Sabozlai, because that will be, I think, a kind of a clever skill to do. Where even if he's like saving it, but I think he's not confident with his shot stopping. So even if he like parries it away, he'll come back to a Liverpool play hopefully, and then we can get the goals. But no, thank you for coming on, Jordan. We will definitely speak again soon, and then hopefully we get the victory next week against United. So yeah, thank you for coming on the show.
All right.
Take care. Thank you. So yeah, so that's it, guys. Thank you for tuning, everyone. Thank you for Jordan for jumping on as well. As you can tell, he said he's very happy with the result, and it's made his weekend. I'm sure it's made everyone's weekend as well. So let's see how the other results pan out. I know United are playing right now. Not sure what the scoreline is, so I'm gonna be intrigued to see how they're doing. But as always, guys, take care, stay safe, and I hope to see you all very soon. Goodbye.